Hello, welcome back. I am so excited to be finally doing this video. After receiving a free greenhouse 3 years ago, I have finally put it up. You'll probably notice from the footage that you've just watched that I've had a lot of different outfit changes because I think putting this greenhouse up took me a good couple of weeks, but I am so excited to be finally sharing it with you. It's not a very nice day today, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to take you inside, show you around what it looks like at the moment, what my plans for the greenhouse are, and why I have actually situated it in the middle of my garden, because it's a little bit of an eyesore, but there is a reason why. Before we get into the video, I just want to quickly talk about all of the mess that is behind and outside the greenhouse. There's lots of kind of 10-litre buckets, refuse bags, big pots all over the place, and the reason for that is when I decided that my greenhouse was going to be going in the middle garden rather than up in the woodland, or well, it was only ever going to be going up in the woodland, but I decided it was going to be going down here. And there was a big raised bed at the end with lots of pots and stuff underneath, kind of like a hedge that I had to trim back a little bit. So when I decided the greenhouse was going to be going here, I had to move the raised beds and stuff. So I got loads of pots that I could find and bags and stuff and chucked as much soil in there as I could. And it's just the remnants of that really, because I've been so focused on getting my greenhouse set up and ready. And as well as that, you'll know with the allotment, I've been trying to get work done on that, and that is probably one reason why I've not been doing many videos at the allotment this year, because I have just been really focusing on this. When I I was unwell in January, it gave me a lot of time to think, and I was like, I really need to get this greenhouse up. And where I had originally decided that it was going to be going in the woodland, I never finished putting it up in the woodland because it just didn't feel right that it was going to be up there. And when I wasn't very well in January, I thought I need to get this up. Where can I get this up that it's going to get a decent amount of light and it's going to be easy for me to access? And I thought it just needs to go in the middle of my garden. Now behind me you can see my house, and the middle window at the top there is on my staircase. So when I wake up in the morning, I can pretty much just look out through that window and see what is going on in the greenhouse. And I thought, you know what, this is really going to be the best area. It gets about 6 hours of sunlight on this side of the greenhouse on a sunny day. So I thought this is going to be perfect. Having it up in the woodland, I'm not really sure the amount of light that it's going to get, and it just seems so pointless, you know, putting it up and it's in the wrong place. So that's how it ended up being here. And when I decided, right, this is where it's going, I thought I just have to get this up. Previously, you know, I thought it was going to be a two-man job, and really, if you want to be quick about things, it is a two-man job. But I am so proud of myself for just getting on with it and putting this greenhouse up on my own. It's totally achievable, it's totally doable, and that was another reason why it took me so long to actually put the greenhouse up, because obviously we've got young children, and when I was building this, you know, my daughter wanted to get involved and build it with me, and had we both together built the greenhouse together, we would have had to have childcare for our daughter. So that was another reason why we put off putting this greenhouse up. But I am so excited that finally I've got it up. I've realised, why was I putting it off for so long? It was really easy to do. And I was so excited to be getting this greenhouse up in time for the new growing season. But quickly talking about behind again, my garden, I have a plan for how this area is going to be landscaped. It's taken me a while to kind of work out exactly what I want. But for me, the growing area comes first. So if you look around in the background, you probably will think, oh my goodness, how can she live like that? But this is what I'm excited and focused on at the moment. Also, I have another project just as big as this going on, and I'm going to tell you at the end of the video, because I'm just chatting on now and I want to show you inside the greenhouse. Also, I have just been outside because I did show the greenhouse in a video the other day, and loads of people thought it was absolutely huge. I think somebody said it was 20 foot and I thought, oh my goodness, imagine having a 20-foot greenhouse. Probably taken me twice as long to put up. But I've just measured it, it's 6 by 10. So I think that's fairly big looking compared to some other people's that I've seen. I think this seems to be a pretty good size, and I've got a plan for all of the beds. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you the beds that I've got, and then kind of what I plan to grow in here. And if you are experienced with the greenhouse, because I'm total novice, you can tell me if you think it's a good idea or not. Okay, I've put you outside now, really sorry, but it's going to take me a little bit of a while, I think, to work out the best camera angles in here for you to be able to see everything best. But where you are, I think you can see these 2 raised beds really well. This is going to be kind of the main growing area for my tomatoes, and the reason being is this part of the greenhouse on a sunny day gets the maximum amount of sunlight. When the sun rises, it's over in that direction, so the entire greenhouse is full of sunlight, and then towards the end of the day it kind of ends here. So this is where my tomatoes are going to be. Hopefully they will get the best amount of light here, and my plan for growing in these will be to string them up along, I've seen you can get on Amazon these little hooks that you hook in here, and then you can, you know, hook them up so they grow lovely cordon tomatoes and do quite well. With these raised beds, what I really love about them is they come apart, so I was able to take the 2 apart and make a really long bed here and then a slightly smaller bed at the very end there. It made like the best use of space for both of these, but on the other side, which you can also see here, I've got some potatoes growing in buckets there. Now, I have some metal raised beds up in my woodland garden, and I'll talk to you a little bit about my woodland garden at the end. But because I'm going to be doing some work up there, I was thinking that I'm going to possibly move one of my raised beds down here, and this being a slightly more shady area, I thought possibly would be good as a seed bed or a bed for growing things like lettuces and stuff over winter. So this area here is just the opposite side of where that small raised bed is over there, and as you can see I've just got a shelving unit here. This is an old metal unit that I picked up in IKEA maybe 10 years ago or something like that. We just had this in our workshop, not really being utilised very well, so I brought that up here thinking that would be a really good area to have seedlings and stuff. But to be honest, you know, the shelves don't really kind of, you know, fit very well, and it stops a lot of light, so I won't be using that forever, but it's good for now. Then down here I've kind of got a recycling box with all of my plastic pots in and things like that. So this area here, eventually I'm hoping to have maybe like a kind of potting table here, and then a small racking system that I can put all of my potted on plants there. But then the rest of it, really, I just want to make sure I've got the maximum amount of space to grow vegetables in here. But now what I'll do is I will turn the camera around and we'll have a look at the raised bed that I'm planning on growing the tomatoes in, and I'll just talk to you a little bit about the soil I've used and what I'm also planning to grow alongside the tomatoes there. My plan for the tomatoes is going to be the exact same thing that I've done for the last 2 years running down at the polytunnel at my allotment, and that is to grow my tomatoes in the halos. I really get on so well with these, and I find the drip irrigation to water them absolutely amazing. But also I'm going to be growing as many crops around these as I can, and I think using the tomato halo, because you're putting it down on the soil and you're able to put a really nice mix of compost into each of your tomato plants and feed your tomato plant really easily, that will mean that it is a lot easier to grow more vegetables and crops around the tomatoes. Down at the allotment gets full sun all day and it can get very hot in there. I didn't have any problems with blight last year or kind of air circulation around the bean plants or anything like that. Everything grew really well, so I'm going to hopefully try and do that again this year, because being able to grow around your tomato plants means that, you know, you're getting the maximum you know, yield out of this space. And with the raised bed here, obviously it's still quite empty. I'm planning on growing that and building that soil over the years, but what I did put in here was a lot of topsoil, and I've had a lot of worm castings in here as well. So what I then plan to do before I plant anything is to maybe just get another maybe 100 litres of compost and put that in here as well, give it a bit of a mix over, and then I will just continue to raise that soil year after year. Obviously, if I'm going to be raising this soil all the way to the top and I'm planning on growing really tall tomatoes on cordons, you know, I'm going to be having less tomatoes because there's going to be less space for them to grow. But that brings me on to space and tomatoes. And I think I've shown you around here enough and talked to you about my plans. I'm going to quickly take you up to the woodland and tell you what the next project up there is. We're up in the woodland now, and as you can see, everything's just looking a bit damp, and you know, it's the beginning of the season, the grass is looking a bit shabby, and yeah, you can probably see actually in the background there's a tree that I have coppiced. It's fallen and I've not processed it yet for firewood and then chip-ins for my allotment. But one of the reasons I've not really been thinking, you know, about this woodland garden too much is because back in January, when I was thinking about my greenhouse and where I was going to be putting that, I went online and kind of went boop, and I bought myself a 6x3 metre polytunnel. So up here, I'm going to be putting a polytunnel, and that is the next project that I'm going to be trying to do over the next couple of weeks. The first thing I need to do is move all of the raised beds that I've got up here. And some of them are hugelkultur beds, so it'd be really interesting to see what they look like after being there for a couple of years. But the main reason that I've decided to put a polytunnel up here is, firstly, this is one of the only areas that is almost flat, so that is a big reason. But it gets so wet up here all the time. It is shady, but things do grow really well up here. I've got my potatoes always grow well, onions grow well, and my beans are really good. But I'm also hoping to have a go and see how some cordon tomatoes will also grow in here. 3x6. I did work it out with how many square meters of polytunnel that is, but I can't remember off the top of my head now, and I'm not going to embarrass myself. But this is going to give me a really big area to grow vegetables up here as well, and I'm so excited. I know it's shady, and we do know that eventually some of these trees are going to be thinned out because they're dangerous. So it's not going to probably be this season, but hopefully, you know, maybe this winter that will happen. That will allow a lot more light to come in this area. And when I bought the polytunnel, I didn't buy a proper polytunnel. I've bought one of those blow away ones. And up here in the woodlands, it is very sheltered. But the reason I went for one of the kind of more kind of quick, you know, blow away ones is because if it doesn't work up here and you know, nothing grows very well at all, I can easily just, you know, get rid of it or give it to someone else, rather than spending up to, like, you know, £900, and I don't even have £900 to be honest. But I'm so excited about that, and that is why I'm going to be taking one of the raised beds down into the greenhouse, and then these the remaining raised beds that I've got will be moved. Some of these are hugelkultur beds, and they're at 2 years old, so it'd be really interesting to see what they look like now after 2 years of being you know, being used as a hugelkultur bed. So I'm so excited about that. But if you are wondering, you know, why I've not done many videos down the allotment, well, firstly, the weather has been rubbish, but I really feel that this is an infrastructure year where I literally just set everything up, and I'm sorry, you know, that you know, some of the videos over the next couple of weeks are still going to be you know, a bit hit all over the place, because I'm not actually in a position to be planting up the allotment yet because the weather has been absolutely terrible. So what I'm feeling is, over the next couple of weeks, if the weather's still bad, I can just get on and get this polytunnel up, which means, you know, my pumpkins, I can try growing pumpkins in here and see how they do, and also some more tomatoes and other other vegetables and stuff. So watch this space, and I'm so excited. I was going to keep this a secret, but I kind of feel like I want to tell you what's going on now, and it's definitely going to happen with my greenhouse. That went on for like years and years and years, and I said I was going to put it up all the time, and I think people got sick and tired of hearing me say that, so I didn't want to say anymore that I was building it. But the polytunnel, I'm so excited about it. So hopefully it's going to be this weekend is a bank holiday weekend in the UK, so if I can get these raised beds moved this week, I reckon I can get it up over the bank holiday weekend, and I'm so excited. So anyway, I'm so sorry, this video is probably about 30 minutes long now, so I'm so sorry. If you're still watching, thanks so much. I hope you've enjoyed, but please do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of all of my latest videos. As ever, YouTube have some videos up on the screen now that they think you'll like, so please go ahead and watch those, and I will catch up with you in the next episode. Bye.